Yes, sir. We can.
Good evening, sir. Professor B.J. Rao, Honorable Vice Chancellor of the University of Hyderabad. Professor G.V.R. Acharul, sir, respected Dean of the School of Management Studies, University of Hyderabad. Mr. Venkat Volavaram, the Director Merit One Incorporation, one of the organizers of this event, and my scholar Olekya. And one of the participants, sir, we asked him to be available in the studio to give a brief feedback. And another participant will be asking him to join to give a little feedback, sir. Now I request School of Management Studies Research Scholar Olekya to give a brief introduction about Vice Chancellor, sir, Professor B.J. Rao, Honorable Vice Chancellor of the University of Hyderabad. Over to Olekya.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everybody. It's my privilege to welcome our esteemed guest, Professor B.J. Rao, sir, the Vice Chancellor of University of Hyderabad. Professor Rao is an eminent scientist in biochemistry and genetics with an illustrious career spanning TIF for Mumbai and IISER Tirupati. His pioneering research in genome dynamics, molecular biology, and disease mechanism has earned him global recognitions with over 140 publications in top international journals like PNAS, Nucleic Acids Research, and Genome Biology. Professor Rao sir has been honored with the Sir J.C. Bose Fellowship, one of the India's most prestigious scientific awards, and is a fellow of the Indian National Science Academy, the Indian Academy of Sciences, and the National Academy of Sciences India. He has also received the Brahmara Trust Life Sciences Award for his outstanding contributions to biological sciences. Beyond his research, Professor Rao sir has played a key role in scientific policy and education, serving on national advisory committees for DBT, NCERT, and IISER, and as he is a editor-in-chief of the Journal of Biosciences. His leadership continues to shape the future of science and education in India. I welcome you, sir, to this valedictory session for the FDP program, School of Management Studies, University of Hyderabad.
Thank you, Alekya. Thank you very much, sir, being with us. Sir, with your permission, we would like to inform you a little brief about the event. So this is a management development program on sustainable supply chain management. We received 560 odd registrations from all across the country and a few international registrations, about 7 or 8 from various countries, USA, UAE, and so on. And in the last 5 days, 4 days, I can say, we have covered almost all the sectors in the as far as the sustainability is concerned: food and agriculture, then healthcare, manufacturing, then the garments. So we had international speakers. Professor Shiva Gyanam from Sri Lanka joined, and Professor David Losby from United Kingdom also joined yesterday. So we had about 8 sessions, and since you are a little occupied, sir, we have 2 more sessions pending today. So one more speaker from UK also will be joining today, and one more session from Hyderabad. So there are 2 more sessions pending. Since your schedule is quite tight, we thought we'll complete this part and we'll go ahead with other things. So with your permission, sir, with this brief note, we would like to take 1 or 2 quick feedbacks. Though we are going to share the feedback form with all the participants, we requested 2 participants to be available in the studio because the studio has a little constraint of accepting only 6 people. So we invited 2 of the participants to give their feedback. So one of the participants, Dr. Somen Mukherjee, is currently available in the studio. With your permission, may I ask him, sir, to give a little feedback about the event?
Please go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Dr. Somen, please go ahead with your.
Sir, very good evening, respected Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, and respected Honorable the dignitaries who are present here. I am really delighted. I am basically from the eastern part of the country, and I am the Dean of the Neutia University, Kolkata. Basically, I am a man of healthcare management, so the supply chain management, the topics has attracted me very much. And really, it was a insightful session. Last 5 days I have attended, and the topics, whatever they discussed in all the session, and every speaker, whoever joined, especially I can say the healthcare supply chain management was described by the 2 honorable speakers. That was very fantastic. And one thing I should mention in this session that the system and the time, whatever the maintained by the organizer, it was really, really very particular and very insightful. Thank you very much for this type of management development program. I think it will help to the academia and also to the researcher, the future researcher. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Somen sir. Due to the constraint of this StreamYard, you may leave the
Yes.
studio now and please be available in the YouTube, sir. Now, sir, one more participant, Mr. Kiran has joined. I hope he's a research scholar. Mr. Kiran, you are able to hear us?
Yes, sir.
He is a research scholar in the area of sustainability. Can you please switch on your camera, Mr. Kiran?
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you. Can
I'm
you
in
please?
mobile. It's okay, sir.
That's fine. Please go ahead with your feedback. Vice Chancellor
Uh,
sir is available. Dean sir is available. Please go ahead with your feedback.
yeah. Thank you for giving opportunity as a part of a sustainable development. So means I'm concerning about the sustainable is whatever the on base. I'm just interested on the whatever the going on currently of recycling means what are the product we are just like electronic e-waste like medical e-waste. Just I'm interested in on what are the currently the suitable of like whatever what I'm saying that currently how the technology is processing on about here medical e-waste like and the electronic e-waste. Just I'm interested just in a day two in packaging industry that I just heard that sir the sir is mentioned that the visibility of packing sector, but in futurely there is a just I read somewhere about the visibility of packaging like some like rice blending where some technology have been see that about visibility we can be because it's a agro based technology we can be implemented on a visibility of on packing sector, and it's maybe in futurely just I'm go through about a sustainable development on basis of this like a cottage industry implemented on a some other cluster sector like that. So thank you for that. Some I get some idea on about a sustainable and to future to presenting it in other way of that. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kiran. You can leave the meeting and join the YouTube link.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Rahman, Miss Nagamani, anybody can join quickly because sir has a tight schedule. Can anyone quickly join? Nagamani, madam. Mr. Rahman. Okay, sir, maybe they may be slightly delayed. So this is what is a brief feedback, sir, we thought of bringing before you. And moreover, we'll be sharing a Google form and everybody will be giving their feedback, sir. Now we request you to have a few words about the event, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you. Thank you very much. Good
Thank you,
evening
sir.
to all of you, especially Professor G.V. R.K. Acharyalu Garu, the Dean of School of Management, Dr. Pramod K. Mishra Garu, and I can see Venkat B.V. Reddy Garu in the studio, and the student also is there. I think it's a small studio. It's a beautiful small studio. It can only accommodate 6 people. In any case, you have a larger world in the YouTube, I'm sure. So I have been following your supply chain management workshop, and when I looked at the themes of this workshop, they're very exciting and very contemporary and very topical, very relevant too. So I'm very excited to be part of this valedictory session, and I am sure the workshop has been extremely beneficial for all the stakeholders who attended this, which is a large number. Now, I come from a different world. I come from the world of genetics and biology, where there is a very different type of supply chain. Metabolites, molecules go through a lot of supply chains. There are very important take homes that one can learn from such other systems, such as biological flows, and maybe get benefited into the real world supply chain system that you people are discussing about. I noticed there are two important take homes that you people are actually emphasizing on: sustainability with respect to carbon footprint impacts. That has been a major focus on your discussions, because any supply chain that causes very high carbon footprint will not be sustainable. Very clear. So that is one aspect that is very, very evident. The second aspect I see is that the analysis of cost. Finally, the supply chain does lead to certain cost, and the cost also should not be prohibitively high, because then there will not be any supply chain followed in the system. So two C's: carbon footprint and cost. This is what I think mostly you people have been focusing on, which is very right, which is very real, and extremely relevant. I would bring in few other points which I think will become relevant in your supply chain management also. As the systems become more complex, I am sure in future, as we roll on, your supply chains will become more complex, much more interconnected. There, I think, this is my prediction, in addition to the tools that you use in generative AI, you will have to bring in very efficiently human touch points. You cannot do away with human touch points. Especially experienced and ethically relevant human touch points will become very important in the days to come, because finally we need to be doing enterprise activities which are ethically and socially correct. Nothing that is socially incorrect, nothing that is unethical will survive. Therefore, I believe, in addition to generative AI based technologies which are very good, predictive and very resilient, human touch points are indispensable, in my opinion. This is one point that I want to emphasize. The second point I want to emphasize is human societal sensitivity. There may be supply chains which are extremely robust and extremely commercially profitable, but if they are not related to human societal sensitivity needs, they will not sustain too long. So these 2 points actually come from biology. They come from biology because these are human elements into the system. And your discussions are becoming more and more technical, more and more technology driven. I can see it. I can see the lingo. So bringing the aspect human societal sensitivity needs will add a different twist in the tale. This is my prediction. And already I'm sure the indications are available for all of you to watch. If there is a pandemic in some part of the world, there will be heavy needs for medications, vaccines in that part of the world. If you do not have a success supply chain viable, you will have to create one. You will have to create one. And in fact, in biology, there is what is called redundant supply chains. Supply chains which are not used in a day-to-day existence, but they kick in when situations become exigency driven. There are cryptic, redundant supply chains available in real world systems. And think you people also may have to put in place redundant, exigency driven, fail safe supply chains which you will use when the need arises. So these are all ideas that I am sharing with you. I am sure you people are thinking about it, but in the ideas world, everything intersects. There is no management, there is no biology, it is all one realm of knowledge. And therefore, we should be sharing each other's knowledge, one another's knowledge, and get benefited from. In that context, I'm very excited to learn from you people. And I keep reading a lot about supply chain dynamics. Perturbations in supply chain dynamics is a very, very exciting area. Suddenly things get perturbed. It's a very dynamic system. Can we predict the perturbations? When large perturbations happen, all of a sudden, are we ready? These are the real challenges. And I think, generative AI does give some options, but ultimately human wisdom has to come in. Human wisdom will prevail, human touch points will prevail, and therefore let us look at this whole thing as a very interesting cross section of humanity, technology, needs, survivability, and commercial viability. So I'm very excited to be part of this valedictory session. I am sorry I could not have attended many more sessions because I run a very tight ship. I I keep myself extremely busy in the action world as well as in the ideas world, and that keeps my life ticking extremely well. I enjoy every moment of my learning. So I am sharing whatever I am sharing with a lot of pride and joy. I wish all of you all the best. Keep learning all the time and ensure you are sharing all your knowledge with all the young scholars, students there, and make this life a feast of learning. This is all I want to say. Namaste
Sir,
to all
2
of you.
minutes. 2 minutes of your time, sir. 2 minutes, sir.
Please.
Since Dr. Nagamani has already joined,
Yes.
would you permit her to say a few things, sir? Quickly,
Yes,
madam.
please.
Nagamani, madam, quickly. Sir has a busy schedule.
Sir, very good evening to all the dignitaries on the stage, sir. It's my honor to speak in front of Vice Chancellor, sir, of UOH, University of Hyderabad. And I'm very thankful for this session, sir. Why? Because I've been into the teaching since 20 years. And I've been teaching management information systems where I have to go through supply chain management. But this particular 5-day session has given me a lot of insights where I can put more examples to my students and explain better. And coming to different sectors, as we know that every sector is playing an important role in the economic development of our nation, sir. The supply chain is growing its importance, and sustainability with respect to supply chain management is very, very important, which we have to consider right now. It's a buzzword, as we all of us know, sir. And environmental sustainability as well as economic sustainability and social sustainability will be only achieved through this sustainable supply chain management, which will increase the efficiency of more organizations. And where coming to different sectors, and different honorable resource people have diligently explained their examples and concepts to all the participants, and solved all the queries also, sir, which we are very heartfully thankful to the all resource people, sir. And this kind of sessions we look forward, sir. Pramod Mishra, sir, thank you very much for conducting such type of a MDP program. And VC, sir, thank you for supporting these kind of MDP events. Thank you, sir, Dean of School of Management. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much for your nice words. You can go back to the YouTube video, madam, YouTube link.
Okay.
Thank you, madam. Sir, Dean sir, Professor Divya Acharyalu and Venkat sir, for your words for Honorable Vice Chancellor sir, quickly, 1 minute.
Sir, respected Honorable Vice Chancellor Bijay Rao sir, and other participants, and Venkatji and Pramod. So it is really a great experience to share our knowledge to the big audience from India and abroad. And the scholars and participants are very interactive, and I'm very happy to contribute from my side. And I congratulate Pramod Kumar Mishra for taking up this management development program. This is the third time we are doing so in the last 3 years, and every year we're doing, and we are going to take up to the next level.
Sir was the part of the meeting, sir. VC sir was part of the meeting 2 years ago.
Yes.
You can recall,
And,
sir. StreamYard again,
sir,
you are asking queries.
thank you very much, sir, for a very insightful supply chain definition from the biology point of view. So, and also great learning, and all these things would have not happened without the support and cooperation and motivation, sir. So we continue to expect same thing from you, sir, in future. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Absolutely done.
Venkat, sir, quickly, because sir is going to leave.
Good evening, BJ Rao sir and JVRK sir and Pramod ji. We from Merit One is established long back, and we are collaborated with 45 different technology companies, and we cover a lot of staffing area, design area, manufacturing area, everything. We are trying to help the students who take who come to USA to do masters, and we established very strongly and want to collaborate with Central University to do more services. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. With this note, we are very much thankful to you, sir, once again for encouraging people like us all the times. So thank you very much, sir. We look forward to the same
Thank you, sir.
in the future,
Thank
sir.
you, and we will ensure to help in future also all these scholastic and academic activities, so that large number of our stakeholders get benefited by this, because I
Thank
think these are extremely mind opening processes. Students learn a lot through such sessions, much more than what they learn in the classroom teachings these days. So we should keep doing these activities as many times, as often as possible. All the best to all of you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thank you
sir.
very much.
So thank you, sir. Now let us
Thank
have some 2 minutes of break, and Mr. Ravi will be joining for generative AI in sustainability, sir.
Thank you,
2 minutes.
Venkat. Thank you.
Thank you, Venkat, sir. Thank you,
So
Acharyas.
2 minutes. Let's have a quick break, and I'm informing Ravi to join.
Okay.
Hello, Ravi. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir. Yeah. I can hear you.
Sorry. So because of the constraint of 6 people in the studio, so I had to ask you to wait in the YouTube. So I'm
No,
really sorry about that.
absolutely no
So
issues.
so can I now request Alekia to introduce Ravi to the audience?
Yes, sir. Shall I?
Yeah, please proceed.
Yes. Good evening, Ravi, sir.
Very good evening, Lekya.
Yes. Yes. It's my pleasure to welcome our speaker for the day, Mr. V. Ravichandra, sir, who will be sharing his insights on generative AI and its application in sustainable supply chain management. Sir is an MBA in International Business and Technology professional with 25 plus year experience, including 20 plus years working overseas in Korea and Japan regions, handling international sales and business development for embedded technology and IoT devices manufacturing companies. Currently, Sir is co-founder and director with ATN Global, a management consulting company specialized in digital for transformation. Sir, I welcome you to the session to share your insights on the topic, and I hand over the session to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Ravi. You can switch on your camera briefly, and then you can start your presentations.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. There's it's really a pleasure being part of this session and having audience with such varied background. And one thing that connects me is the supply chain part of it, and what all we as a team can together contribute to the industry. So I look forward to share some of my learnings and in the technology perspective and also a non-technology perspective that we have learned while in deployments with different customers. So I'll just put put a little.
Please
I'll
share
stop
your
my
screen.
camera.
Please share your screen. If you have a presentation, you can share your
Oh
screen.
yes, sir. Yeah.
Please.
Okay. Can is my screen visible?
Yes, yes. Please go ahead.
All right. So we have. This is one of the most interesting topic, and I'd like to just initiate this with a quick words about where we are heading for. We are heading for a greener future with help from generative AI, and definitely we'll start with introduction in terms like what exactly is a sustainable supply chain management. So by definition, we are basically trying to make the supply chain more integrated and more environmentally and socially responsible in terms both our practices as well as the technology adoption. So our overall goal is to reduce the carbon footprint and also reduce the wastage while ensuring the ethical sourcing. To the left side, what you see is a generic process that we call as circular economy, where we have materials being sourced by the supplier through the suppliers. It goes to the manufacturers, then to the distributors, where there are two different consumers and the users who would use it. So there is a process that all these follow and ensure that we are following some basic steps which are already in place, which is followed by most of the industry majors. And it is pretty important at this point of time because of the climate challenges that we are currently facing. More than that, there are also there's a increasing demand from the customers for sustainability. They would want more eco-friendly approach from they expect more eco-friendly approach for even from the manufacturing perspective. So here we are looking at what exactly are challenges in the supply chain. So I'll just first go with to the left side. What you see is the list of challenges that we have as part of supply chain. We have trade route disruption that happened during the pandemic. So most of us have experienced that. And there's also a climate change challenge. So there's some metrics that are also listed here, like 23% of all the road delays in the US has costed trucking companies between 2 to 3.5 billion annually. And of course, friendshoring and nearshoring is a currently rampant or say mostly adopted strategy. And there's also a skill gap for AI and machine learning and automation. So these are the major challenges or in terms of supply chain, what is anticipated in 2025. And when it comes to sustainable supply chain adoption, the default complexity is multiple stakeholders being involved. So each stakeholder has different perspective and different geolocations or different processes. And there is a difficulty in tracking and verifying sustainable practices. So there are, of course, some of the uh, standard practices that are followed. However, there is a difficulty in tracking these, compliances perspective. Implementing green technologies is also expensive and a costly affair. And more importantly, whenever we are talking about having this transparency or the processes being implemented, you are dealing with the data. And that data management is the critical part of it. And what is more important is we need real-time data for any of the decision making. It's not like post-mortem of something that has already happened. So we are looking at more of real-time data. So you have the actions taken instantly. So now to the topic. What exactly is generative AI? So before we get into this, I have just prepared a small screen. I don't know if we, is my screen visible? The
Yes,
another.
yes,
Yes, sir.
yes, visible.
All right. So most of us have been looking at software as a technology, but instead, if we look at our, before we get into the generative AI side or AI side, let's look at what exactly are we doing as part of the software or technology. If we change our approach and look at the whole subject in a simple layman perspective, like there is some data that is available, which is stored about your business or your process or your supply chain process. You are sourcing somewhere, manufacturing a product, giving it to your partner or a distributor, and he is taking it to the end customer through a last mile delivery partner. So there are different stakeholders in a very high level perspective. So when you translate this to the computing side or the software side, it is just the data that is to be gathered, and it is spread across different stakeholders within this supply chain. When you put all this into one place and try to put this data into one place, we call it as database. And when I put a wrapper around that database, it's basically a software layer on top of it. And because I have a software, I want to make little more. I have a software which is also having the data embedded in it. I would probably try to make little more intelligent decisions using that data. So that we call as analytics. And we'll go little step beyond analytics is make some intelligent decision making. We call predictive analytics. And a step ahead of that is where we have entered the zone of AI. So in terms of generative AI, is basically a subset of AI that generates new content such as text, images, data, or based on different learnings that its system has. So like I said, I mean, there is already data available, and based on that data, there is some analytics that is performed. Now there are situations where I don't have the existing data, but they have some high level of learning that is spread across. And based on that, I want to go beyond predictive analytics. So that's where I have the I take the help of popular platform like models like ChatGPT, DALI, and other AI models. So when it comes to relevance to supply chain, generative AI is basically used extensively to optimize processes, predict outcomes, and enhance decision making. So here's there might be a little bit of gap in here, understanding how it is different from being predictive. It's basically we are not predicting anything based on the earlier data, but we are generating new set of data. That's why it is we are looking at it as generative AI. So all of us, we are familiar to ChatGPT, where basically you are giving it a prompt and then it gives us the information relevant to that. It basically summarizes all your data into one quick snapshot and gives it to you. Likewise, DALI is basically about creating images, with imaginary pictures. You could give a good prompt and it'll return some information. So how generative AI supports sustainable supply chains is basically a topic that has always been a key topic that most of the industry majors have been looking at. So first thing is demand forecasting. So unless there is a demand, I don't want to produce anything. So to optimize my production, there are other processes which are industry standard. And I was part of some manufacturing industry, basically into electronics manufacturing. So the way it actually happens on the ground we would make 8 weeks forecast, and every weekly we sit together along with my sourcing teams, my sales team, all of us sit together. We try to make a 8 week prediction, like 8 week forecast, like how much would be the demand, how much is the sales expected, and what is the kind of backup we need in terms of parts procurement. And then so there are a lot of issues when it comes to, I'll share what I experienced. It was into electronics manufacturing. So we had variety of issues in terms of the cost optimization if I purchase X number of chipset in advance or parts in advance. And the sales team says that, oh, no, I have a huge order coming up, then I cannot afford more than 3 weeks of manufacturing timeline. So in these scenarios, I have to sync up with multiple stakeholders, including my suppliers. We have to look at the chipset providers, plastics maker, everybody. So the demand forecasting part is always been a critical part. But what pandemic has done is it made it more complex. And I cannot even forecast not just the suppliers. There are other factors which are beyond the suppliers and my personal the stakeholder ecosystem that I have built so far. My shipping lines are stuck, so there is a impact of that. There is a political environment currently, as we speak there is war happening, so there might be something beyond our control. So what is more important is, in demand forecasting, it's not just the historical data that is required. I also need a lot of intelligence which is out there in the field, which I very difficult to predict. So this is where demand forecasting right now, as we speak, large logistics companies are now forecasting, effectively utilizing AI to understand what is the likely scenario if there is a storm, there is a cold wave coming in. So obviously there will be an increase in, people buying certain kind of, for instance, the conditioners, heating equipment. So how that when there is increase in heating equipment purchase, so how do we handle that kind of demand? It is dependent on the weather conditions. Of course, periodic data might be different because of climate change. There is more increased, temperatures to be handled. So all those demand forecasting, now generative AI has got more data and it is able to, give more information and give more, power to the decision makers. Likewise, the route optimization, it can suggest most fuel efficient routes for transportation and reducing emissions. This is one of the areas which I closely work with large companies like the KN, KNN of the world, or Seva Logistics. So most of them, they look at the transportation as, because this the last mile is the most expensive part of the supply chain, like most of us are aware. So it's not just having an optimized route is not just a requirement in terms of reducing the distance. It's also very critical for meeting the timelines, the ETA timelines that are set in the industry. So this route optimization, AI has a very good role to play here for transportation. And then once you reduce the route, efficient route, you're obviously reducing the emission part of it. Likewise, like I was sharing earlier, the supply selection is critical part, and then AI can evaluate suppliers based on their metrics, such as carbon footprint and ethical practices. And this is pretty much most of the large companies have been put a lot of metrics in place for this particular sustainability metrics. And of course, circular economy, how best we can reuse or recycle or remanufacture the products. So yeah, so these are the, I'll just, some of the real world applications Artificial intelligence is used in logistics, like in case of DHL, it uses AI to optimize delivery routes, fuel consumption, and emissions. Also in manufacturing, this Siemens uses it for generative design tools and create energy efficient products. In retail, H&M is using it to predict fashion trends and reduce overproduction. In all these systems, the way I had an opportunity to get involved because of the data component. So what we were doing is we were closely involved in generating data for the systems. So it helps, in terms of, unless there is a data, it is very difficult for the AI operations to happen. So basically, when you make your AI model, you will have to consider how exactly the model is going to get trained. So that part of it requires data. So when you plan your sustainable supply chain management, what are the benefits that you can derive or expect out of it? One part, like I said, is carbon emissions and avoiding the wastage in the environmental perspective. And the second is the social part of it, like you have more inclusive society because you would obviously have more stakeholders involvement in the overall system. And there is also a huge economic impact that it creates. So because it's as simple as that, you're running the economy in more efficient way because you have your processes more streamlined, your data is more actionable, there more intelligence that is going into the system. And culturally also there's a lot of impact. So there are some inherent challenges and risks that are also involved. One is ensuring supply chain data is protected, which is data privacy. And currently, there is a lot of bias in AI models. So there is a bias decision that could happen, and which could actually harm the sustainability efforts that you are trying to build. So all of us are aware how AI models are unpredictable and still a little in the initial stages. But hopefully this is going to get resolved over a period of time. There are new techniques that have been put in place to optimize these models. And there is a huge implementation cost because there's to have these AI technologies implemented. And the last one is the skill gap. To manage these AI systems, you need some right kind of skill set. So there is a need to reskill the existing workforce. So these are the future trends. The AI-driven circular supply chains. So where AI will play a key role, and then we'd be using it to automate the flow of materials, products throughout the life cycle, which will enable them to reuse, recycle, or remanufacture. And then once you integrate blockchain to the AI, that will make it more transparent and more secure in terms of your transactions. So there are a lot of interesting use cases that have come up where the last mile delivery, once it happens, instead of waiting for 30 days or 40 days for their payment realizations, people are able to use blockchain-based ledgers to authenticate these deliveries or proof of deliveries in much faster way. So they get the confirmations and then the payment gets released in a much earlier days. Means they don't have to wait for 30 days. The delivery time is it's happening within 24 hours. And then collaborative AI platform. There are a lot of tools, AI tools, and supply chain partners are able to work together on different sustainability goals. So there's it also gives a scope for human collaboration to improve efficiency. So now this is one critical part that I wanted to focus more seriously on and spend more time here. So I so far I have taken it a little for granted that most of us are familiar to artificial intelligence and to an extent generative AI, because we have been using chat gpt in most of the, I mean, so far I have seen even my kids use it, most of the university students use it, so I have taken it for granted that all of us are aware of what is generative AI. Basically, in generative AI we are creating new content, and for that we are using text, images, or code as input, and then we get the output. Output is basically something newly creative content that is created out of the, you know, once we put a prompt that is accurate. So basically, the more you train the system, the more intelligent or better result it gives. So as we were doing it, what we are looking at is the next generation is all about agentic AI. So I thought it is good platform for us or a good timing for us to understand what is agentic AI. Once we are now that we are looking at generative AI in supply chain perspective, it also makes sense to understand the next step where we are heading. It's going to be agentic AI. So the purpose is basically make things autonomous here. When you go for agentic AI, it automates the decision making and reasoning. Basically, it's the corresponding example I can give is the Tesla car. So when you have an autonomous car that is on the road, it has to make a lot of decisions on the go. And as the car is moving on the street, there are a lot of obstacles. There are people walking. There are other vehicles going, and in terms of our thought process, if we think of generative AI, I'm only creating new content based on some input prompt, right? So in when you look at agentic AI, if there is a AI agent which is able to understand on the road, if it is part of the Tesla system, on the road when it is going, it is able to clearly identify the obstacle, what kind of obstacle, and what it has to do. It has to avoid that obstacle. Either it has to brake or take an alternate route or slow down or completely come to a halt. So this basically is about executing a lot of tasks internally, taking a lot of decisions based on the data that is given to it. And going forward in supply chains also, there will be a clear objective that is set. The objective that is set is I have multiple stakeholders in my supply chain, and this is my first mile, this is my last mile. In between, there is a process that is happening where there is a movement between the warehouses, maybe a cold chain. There is a shipment happening from location A to location B, and then this shipment has to be tracked in terms of temperature or other parameters. So how do I take care of this from the first mile until the last mile to the delivery? So these, if you are able to correlate or think in terms like similar to what is happening in a Tesla car, I have a shipment that is started, and then there are a lot of stakeholders involved before it gets to the manufacturing zone. So how is this flow happening? Is it possible for us to synchronize all these stakeholders and run it smoothly without having any kind of difficulty while the decision making is happening through a AI, because there are a lot of information already in place. So agentic AI is an approach where we are having AI taking care of certain clearly set objectives and executing those tasks based on the goals. And basically, you will define multiple workflows, and then based on those workflows, you keep moving forward. I'm sure there might be some questions around agentic AI. Is there someone who would want to put across? Please feel free to ping me. Okay. So as the next step, so what exactly we're going to do with generative AI? What would be the conclusion is like basically it has potential to revolutionize the sustainable supply chain management, and you can have a lot of collaboration between technology, businesses, governments, which will be very useful for the end result of for us to have this sustainable supply chain. So the future of supply chain obviously will be driven by technology, and it will be very positive environment because there will be all the stakeholders. Now so far the only issue that we had with supply chain was multiple stakeholders not being connected. They are independently using high-end technologies, but they are not connected. With AI in place, we have all these things taken care. Generative AI is able to generate intelligent answers to the complex situations, and agentic AI on top of it is able to give us ability to take decisions based on the data that is available. So what more? It's a very interesting future that we're going to look at. So what is a call to action? So companies should and must invest into AI technologies. I mean, having said that, this technology will only increase number of job opportunities and the opportunities, but currently there might be some the pace of growth might be a little inclined towards certain specific areas. However, it'll be narrowed down and more mature going forward. So we are looking at a better tomorrow, that perspective. So so this is the high level, and then before I wind up, I like to share one video, actually a small YouTube video that I pulled up. I don't know if I can show it here. So can you see my YouTube screen?
No,
Not
sir.
yet. Have you shared your entire screen?
Oh, just hang on, sir. I can.
Just
Probably I did
you.
not share the entire screen.
Yeah, maybe you have shared your presentation.
Okay. So this is, I mean, before we go into the other one, this is some information that we have about LLMs and how what is happening in terms of machine learning models that are being churned out over a period of time. If you there's a huge number of models that are being into the market. I'll just share the entire screen now.
Intelligence
Now
like Jarvis or HLL 9000 or the T1000. Yeah, everyone knows this. Maybe this is not reached, and I don't want whether
So
I would
here
like to have
basically
this read, but let's see.
this is the real-time
maybe we are something
implementation
between
of
the blue and
AI.
the orange one. The pity here is it's hard to understand.
And basically,
so we come from a desktop, then we have mobile word, which everyone understands is the level of understanding, and on the right hand side might be something like I can predict the behavior. So this is a more harder part for AIs or level of understanding. So maybe I can predict the behavior of my one.
Basically, this guy is just sharing his the deployment inside his place, and then how they have utilized automation. When I say automation, we are talking of utilizing IoT kind of systems to generate data out of your environment. So if I am working in DHL, I am working in FedEx or some other supply chain environment or a manufacturer myself. So I need data related to my organization, which is critical because that using that data I can define better formula, better utilization of AI models. There is a foundation model that are there. Usually the way AI works is I have a foundation model which will guide me to use that data effectively. But for that I need to have my organization data. I cannot use generic data. So this is where automation helps. So once you have automation done, you have analytical AI. This is a little different from our regular business analytics. Business analytics is critical even now, even though we have analytical AI, because analytics basically gives a lot of inputs into what has been happening inside your system. So analytical AI is more about considering various other aspects, and then generative AI. So let's look at how this gentleman has deployed it in his environment.
So all over there might be 100,000 or 200,000 different places.
So basically this is the warehouse, and these are all the racks inside the warehouse. So what they have done is they used generative AI over here. There is a model called Llama model. So they adopt this foundation model, and on top of it, they built their system. So the measure basically this is about series and route optimization inside the warehouse. They have like 200,000 different places. Like basically in the warehouse terminology, uh, we call it as locations. So these are all the racks, and each rack location, if you put them all together, you can easily store up to 200,000 pallets, basically pallets or boxes or whatever you call. So they have taken this Llama model, and top of it, they have built this route optimization
Places
system.
to pick goods in this warehouse. So this all is over three. So we took all these difference between these pictures might be not so huge, and artificial intelligence can learn it, and the results are amazing. So the thing what I would say is
basically these are the distances that are calculated by the AI engine. Basically it is built optimal location and how to reach that location within the warehouse in the shortest route. So when you use these models, it is easy for you to start writing these softwares which will make it easy for you to make this utilize the AI to come up with your own individual process optimization. So here he is, further adopted Chat GPT, and then on top of Chat GPT, they have worked on Chat GPT is basically your the other generative AI, which is readily the very popularly used model. So then they use this Evelyn bot. So
42 lakhs per
I'm
annum.
sorry.
Wow, 42.
I'm sorry. So basically, this is
2 lakhs. That's your salary.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
And
There's an ad that has come up. So, so basically, I would just stop the video now because it has gone into some ad mode. So what I'd like to do is share this information in a little more detail along with the presentation so that it's easy for, and I'd not like to take more time because I see it's time to take some questions as well. So, so please go ahead, sir. Like if there is anyone who's got a question, please ask me.
Sir, there is a chat box, sir, to the right side of your screen.
Right.
There is a question, sir. So can you see the chat box?
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir. Two questions.
Okay, how can businesses justify the cost of implementing generative AI in supply chain management while ensuring a strong ROI? Well, the your initial cost of implementing generative AI might look expensive, but in long term, it will be very effective. Because, see, for instance, if there are companies who have got rid of like 8 or 9 different resources. Like, I'll I'll tell you one simple use case. In H&M warehouse, I personally visited there. There are like 40 pickers. In a warehouse there are pickers. Their only job is to go around the floor space. There are 25,000 SKUs. They know where to pick which item. So I got a list of items to be picked up, and this picker's job is to just pick up these items and then put it into one place, and then they go for shipping. So the route of these pickers, and there was a lot of dependency on the picker, because if I worked in that environment for more than 6 months, I know exactly how to go to the location and pick up my item. And their critical problem, on the field problem, which mostly all of us don't know, outside people don't know, is these the pickers are not so educated and they leave the job very quickly. A lot of attrition problem there. So when a new person comes in, it takes another 3 months for him to understand which product is kept which location. So when you implement a system which is automated and you empower it on top of it with the generative AI kind of technologies, your system will be so optimized. You don't have to spend money or go through the process of having a 3-month wait period for your pickers to be optimized. So that way, there are a lot of advantages. So what you need to do is understand, have a study of your environment, and then likewise put a very clear objectives for your generative AI use cases and process optimization. That way, you can justify the ROI, and I'm sure it will be a solid ROI use case. So because it's now more mature. Can the hidden cost of generative AI, such as data biases, energy consumption, and model retraining, outweigh its supply chain benefits in the long run? Yes, this is a very valid point. Firstly, I would also add to this, instead of data bias, probably it is data reliability. If my data is wrong, my analytics is wrong, my will go wrong, everything will go wrong. So your the the very important part is, how do you ensure that your data is accurate? So once we have this data accuracy taken care, so you would avoid, or say, the burden in terms of your cost uh, that you are going to incur because of the data inaccuracies will be avoided. And coming to your energy consumption, the DeepSeek recent release has proven that it's not that expensive all the time. There are technologies available. There will be maturity cycle that will happen in AI, and it will be usable for us. And sometimes when we were also experimenting quantum AI. So once the quantum part is taking, also getting into the picture, once it is also mature, you will see more accuracy. Because at some point when we were of for instance, like when we were in the graduation phase, I'm talking of some 20-25 years ago. At that time, for us, a PC with 4 MB RAM or 16 MB RAM was a big thing. There was an upgrade from 4 MB to 16 MB. We were also excited. We rushed to the place to see what is happening. And then we have seen the internet revolution, where I went and met my customers in Japan, and I promised them that I will build a beautiful MP3 player or MP4 player for them. And for that, they would pay me $100,000. Then within 2 years, Android came in, and then the mobile smartphone came in, the whole market changed. I feel that this revolution in terms of generative AI and agentic AI will be something similar. So we will have more maturity in the system, where you would definitely take care of the cost part of it. So I feel that there will be more, and for them to be more eco-friendly is obvious consequence of adoption of these technologies. I hope I've answered the question there.
I think Ravi, there is one more last question by Mr. Rahman.
Yeah, I think I'll just is generative AI truly sustainable considering its impact? Yeah, this is one I was showing you earlier. One of the study that was done in KLU. Then that's where they found that the amount of pollution that is put in terms of computing power is very high. So as we move forward, this will be optimized, and it is sustainable going forward, because we will have more and more system maturity happening, and improvement in technology happening, and the models also getting more lightweight. So it's not always that you will have to go through that heavy load for all the computational requirements. So the current optimization that is happening obviously might be looking very high, and then the use cases might not be like real time, cannot be used in real time environment, but there is a maturity happening, and we are experiencing it. I'm looking at companies who are like very serious about adopting, just that they are waiting for the data to be there for their models to be trained efficiently. So I'm positive about that. Generative AI will be sustainable. Uh, the use of AI for supply chain management going to be economic burden. Yes, ma'am, but that you're um, it will be an economic. It will be a positive, and also a little bit initial phase. It will be a little burdensome for the economic perspective. As we move AI to AGI, how will it change the supply chain management in terms of automation and sustainability? Uh, we are AGI is a yeah. I feel that we have to take it in a little organic step there, because it will change the supply chain management. But the AGI to be in place will be a little embedded with the human involvement still. Until the AGI is there, the kind of training we give to for the supply chain management systems to get matured, it will be a little because there are a lot of elements there. There is a perspective of the governments involved, who are also big stakeholders. There are other stakeholders like your transportation ecosystem that is around you. And when there is a cross border movement of goods happening, there are regulations, there are compliances, other things to be taken care. So AGI adoption will be an efficient way, but it would take more than just the technology perspective. It will be non-technology perspective challenges which will be more to be handled. But on the sustainability side, yes, obviously, I mean, any technology adoption, especially generative AI or AI adoption in general, will be helpful. Can AI help human-centric transportation designs? It's it's obviously yes, because the AI is not necessarily taking us off the table, because we still have a lot of thinking to be done. The systems are systems, AI systems, though there is a AGI in the visibility range, but there will be a limitation in terms of when they want to match with the human efficiency of an experienced person. So it will be very helpful for human-centric transportation design. It's just that you instead of having 20 people probably you will be doing things with 3 people or 4 people that way, and then you would reassign the rest of the team. There are some interesting use cases as well around last mile. I'll try and put that as also a part of the slides.
Any further questions from anyone? Can we incorporate a design thinking with the help of AI? I think 2 more questions, Ravi, if you can just answer.
Yeah, so always there's one perspective that technology reduces job opportunities. Here, how AI in supply chain management is going to impact job market. It will impact. Unfortunately, it does impact. But at the same time, this was something that I was also initially apprehensive about. But once we start understanding the technology and what it's actually doing, most of the redundant tasks that is taken care in, which are part of the supply chain management, that is now taken care by AI. So the resources that were doing earlier some redundant job, now they don't have to. I'll give you one example within Hyderabad that we handled. Um, there's a guy who worked in a trucking company with 900 plus trucks, and his only job was to collect the bills payable. So he would sit in the desk. He would get these drivers would be coming in, handing over some 30 or 40 slips every day. His job is to just look at those slips and stamp it and send it to finance guys. So there is actually no need of this gentleman now after 40 years of work, because this doesn't make any sense. Now there is a e-pod that is in place. Proof of delivery, electronic proof of delivery is there, and earlier cycle of 40 days payment cycle is now reduced to 2 days or 3 days. So some of these jobs which are redundant or not so required will be moved out. So how we have to take care as an economy is to ensure that we are reskilling these resources, put them into some better areas which will be more suitable for them. When I say reskilling, it is very subjective to the operation side, what is being performed. So probably earlier there was no need of a person which is giving a prompt to the system or querying the system about what will be the forecast of the sales going forward for the next X number of quarters, based on which he can plan his procurement. So the procurement job will be much different. The job profile will be changing. So that way there will be a difference in terms of opportunities that will be. So we are looking at reskilling the people from top to bottom, and it's possible because we never imagined a rickshaw puller or the roadside vendor also looking at YouTube. Now YouTube is so part of everybody's life. Paytm is part of our lives. Something similar would be in the path, but it would not happen without causing some damage. So we'll have to just have a strategy in place, which I'm sure there will be right people thinking on top. So can we incorporate design thinking with the help of AI? Absolutely, yes, sir. It is. Can AI help in designing of products? They're already doing it. I work closely with a very large automotive manufacturer. They have been using earlier. Now the major players are utilizing AI in designing of products. The way they are doing is, your material strength, the product, the material, not just material, but the product performance. They are able to accurately predict in advance, even the paint that is put on top of it. So yeah, there are. Thank you so much. And then there are ethical implications of the AI. This is thanks for bringing it up. There are serious ethical implications, and we as management graduates have to be mindful about it. And most of the cases, it may not be intentional damage that we cause, but there will be ethical implications. And this needs right thinking from the, what you say, the research community. Well struck. Okay, thank you, ma'am. For any additional information, I'll try to put it across, try and make it not so technical.
Okay, let us bring the session to an end. Mr. Ravi, thank you very much for your insightful session on generative AI. And its implications in sustainable supply chain. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
thank you very much for joining us, and we definitely look forward to the same cooperation in the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So, thank you very much, participants. Let us have a 10 minutes break before the new speaker is coming in. So, please relax for a while, and I will start the last session, global supply chain operation, and a specific reference to the sustainability. Thank you. Please stay tuned. Have a quick break of around 10 minutes. Thank you.
Pramodji?
Sir.
Yeah, I think, yeah, I spoke to Vijay madam. She said like she agreed joining session. I see
Yeah, let
like,
us wait for another 5 minutes, sir.
yeah, sure, yeah. So we can take questions from the
Yeah. Would you like to brief,
participants.
in the meantime, would you like to brief something about Merit 1 and some activities of the Merit 1? Because questions anyway, speakers are answering. So you can take few things on Merit 1 and the future event plans. If there is anything
Uh,
to share, if you have anything. Otherwise, you can speak something about maybe Merit 1.
actually, no, preparation nahi hua, so I am just thinking.
No, that's okay. That's okay. No, I thought maybe Merit One may have some plans in the, we have conducted several events. This is the third event. And
Yeah, engineering side, we
anyway,
have many
we'll just
things.
inform them. We'll inform them maybe through email. Okay. And
Yeah,
there is
yeah.
one piece of information before Madam joins. I would like to inform that during VCSR's presence in the valedictory, we took 2-3 feedbacks, and we'll be sharing the feedback form with all of you, which you can fill it and send it back. We'll be trying to improve our program in the coming days. Yeah, Vijay Madam is in touch with the speaker, Ms. Shankar Garle. Let us wait for a few more minutes. Maybe she is stuck up in some other work.
Yeah, right.
So, few more minutes. Let us wait, sir. Apologies
Pramodji,
for the delay. Yeah, apologies for the delay, everyone. So there is a message from Anka ma'am. She will not be able to join. It seems she has met with a accident. So our apologies for this. And if she wants to further continue, maybe we can schedule maybe tomorrow or so. But we are not very sure. So we are very sorry for that. Actually, she just sent a message. So we are really sorry for that. Would you like to say something, sir? Anything
yeah,
further? Because it's almost
uh,
20 minutes. We can wind up the session.
yeah, like we have that presentation, what she wanted to present. Vijaya madam was collaborating with Anka. So we'll share that to the participants.
Yeah, please share the presentation. I'll be sharing with all of them,
Yeah,
maybe at the earliest. And in case you will be interested to have, have a talk, maybe we can probably reschedule at the earliest. Okay, that's the
yeah,
one thing.
sure.
And second thing is that we'll be sharing the Google form with everyone.
Mm.
So please try to fill it at the earliest. Then one more thing is about the certificate. So certificates are ready and we will be trying to reach you very soon on that. Okay. So thank you very much everyone for your cooperation all this stage. And those who did not join because of various reasons, we suggest them to watch the videos, as per their leisure time. And hopefully those who were actively engaged in the meetings have some take home, and definitely with your inspiring words we'll be taking the things further, and similar kind of events will be definitely organizing and will inform you about that. Sir, if you have anything to conclude, say concluding remark, we'll wind up here.
Yeah, for all the participants, I would like to say, like, if they have any questions, to keep in touch with us, they can send an email. So we will address them. If anybody having plans to come to USA also, we can help them.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you very much, everyone. It was a nice experience for us, and we wish you all the very best, everyone. So let us stop here. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Olakya, please stop it. Thank you, everyone.